Let's look at what happened yesterday at Wadata Plaza. Wadata House. Wadata House is the headquarters of the PDP, okay, in the heart of Abuja. PDP is expected to be the leading political party in opposition in Nigeria. Remember that the PDP had been in power from 1999 when we returned from military rule to 2015 when the APC took power, when Muhammadu Buhari became the president of Nigeria under the APC. Before then, PDP had produced 3 presidents, okay? Olusegun Obasanjo, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, and Goodluck Jonathan. They had produced countless number of governors, plenty governors for all those number of years. And they had produced countless number of members of parliament, political advisors and all of that. So it was the leading political party in Nigeria for several years. But recently, PDP has been in disarray. And that's the truth about it. What happened yesterday at Wadata House in Abuja has become highly concerning to most Nigerian citizens. So we look at the legal angle to the event of yesterday. And before we proceed, let's look at the video.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
So what you're seeing here, you can see Governor Bala, governor of Bauchi State, finding his way into the premises of the PDP, Governor Makinde and other members of the PDP in their faction, finding their way into the premises of Wadata Plaza. They were initially prevented by policemen, armed policemen, and even thugs from entering. They were prevented by men and women and security agents that are faithful, that are loyal to the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. And you can see how people are being chased out. That's people of the other faction, the Wike faction. They have been chased out of the premises, and the other faction belonging to Governor Bala Mohammed, they are the ones now at the premises of the political party. There are lots of videos, lots and lots of videos. And the curve there shows tear gas was fired, canisters of tear gas were fired by policemen and all of that. Okay? See, someone is limping, obviously he's been injured. Now you saw what happened. You saw it clearly. Use of force to enter. You saw how people were prevented from entering, and then they used force to enter. One faction stops the other faction from entering. One faction forces its way in and all of that. People have called it House of Commotion about what happened, yesterday. Now, one is tempted to ask at this point a number of questions. One, what is happening to opposition party politics in Nigeria? What's happening? Have we bothered to ask that question? What is happening to opposition party politics in Nigeria? Because by law, every person that wants to contest election must do so on the platform of a political party. And the law allows the registration of multiple political parties in Nigeria. And as we speak, INEC has registered not less than 100 political parties. So there is a leading political party, which is the APC. All others are opposition political parties right now. And I ask, what is happening to opposition party politics in Nigeria? 2, why is Labour Party in disarray? Peter Obi's party. The party that Peter Obi wrote on to come as the number 3 person in the last election, presidential election. What's happening to that party? Because that party is also in disarray. What is now happening to the PDP? Because PDP is also in disarray. PDP is supposed to be a leading opposition party because of its membership across the country, because of its having been in power for so many years, since 1999 till 2015, having many members and all that and structures. But that party is in disarray right now. Who then is available to provide the voice of opposition in the country? The late sage, Obafemi Awolowo, was a premier of the western region of Nigeria for many years, did so well. You know, he is described by many as a father of development in western Nigeria. When I did my national service in Osun State, I read some books from the library of Obafemi Awolowo University. One of the books I read was that it was Obafemi Awolowo who opened up all the major roads in today's western Nigeria, from Lagos down to all parts of Yoruba land. He was the first person that opened up the major roads, turned tiny roads to, major roads. What has been done over time is improvement on those roads. So he remains the father of development in western Nigeria. What happened? He left the premiership and went to the center to contest for his political party to become the leading political party in the country, have the prime minister and all of that. But his political party did not have the number to achieve his dream. And what did he do? He then chose to become the leader of opposition in Nigeria. That was because Obafemi Awolowo understood the place of opposition in government to provide balance. So what has become of opposition politics in Nigeria recently? Why is leadership in the United Kingdom? Okay? In the United Kingdom, there is, what is leadership there without opposition voice? When the Conservatives are in power, the Labour Party becomes the voice of opposition, and vice versa. In the United States of America, you have the Democrats and you have the Republicans. When this one is in power, the other one becomes the voice of opposition, and the law allows them. So what is happening in Nigeria, that it looks as if the voices of the opposition parties are almost going extinct, with internal polarization of the political parties from January to December. Now, can't we have leaders of political parties that think more about the larger interest of their parties and of the country than their personal interests? Can we not have that? Because what's going on in all these political parties that are fighting is a case of personal interest as above the larger interest. You can call it selfish interest. Some persons can call it so, and they're right. Okay? Now, we go back to the events that culminated in the disarray at the national headquarters yesterday, the Wadata House. You know, last week during the convention, or shortly before the convention, Nigerians saw 3 judgments in respect of one convention. 3 judgments in respect of one convention. 2 judgments came from the Federal High Court, Abuja. 1 judgment came from the Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan. Now, what's the legal position of these 3 judgments in one subject matter? The 3 courts are courts of similar jurisdiction. None is bigger than the other. They are like periwinkles. They're like, one is a general in the army, another one is a general equivalent in the Navy and Air Force. The one in the army cannot command the one in the Air Force and Navy, because they are like periwinkles. They wear the same caps. People of equal rank. It's just the name, the nomenclature. So the Federal High Court and the State High Court are the same. It's just the name that changes. But as regards nomenclature, as regards their standing in law, they are the same. So the 3 courts are courts of similar jurisdiction, and none is senior to the other. None can be said to be in disobedience of the lawful order of the other. So when the Federal High Court said, don't go for the convention, the State High Court said, go for the convention, none is conflicting the other. They are doing their things independently. Why? Because none of the courts is bigger than the other. Okay? So That then meant that parties were at liberty to choose which of the orders to respect or to go for. And the argument is that you go for the last order of the court. The last order of the court was go for the convention. Now, it's not the kind of thing that we even want to see in the country. We want harmony in decision making by courts in the country. But it is what it is. We're here. We Nigerians saw these 3 judgments in respect of one subject. And as it is, the ranking, none can be said to have disobeyed the other, right? Now, if you listened to the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, when he called in during the birthday celebration of Ayo Fayose, governor of former governor of Ekiti State, Nyesom Wike called in to Shehu Akimbaloye's program, Politics Today, and he made mention of the fact that there are 2 judgments, and the other one is ruling. He asked, how can anybody go for a ruling when there are 2 judgments, right? Now, both judgment and ruling are known in law as decisions. Section 318 of the Constitution of Nigeria defines decision to include judgments, rulings, order, etc. So what matters at this point, what is critical, what was critical was whether there was a decision of the courts of law in respect of that convention, not whether there was judgment or whether there was ruling. In any case, the Constitution defines decision to include judgment. So judgment of the Federal High Court, beautiful, fine. Ruling of the State High Court, beautiful too. Order of the State High Court, the same. Okay? What matters, like I said, was whether there was a decision. And truly, these courts gave decisions. So whether it was judgment or ruling, what matters was whether it qualifies to be called decision of court and can rightly be obeyed by the parties without being in contempt. And therefore, the distinction between judgment, full judgment, and interlocutory ruling, and all of that did not really apply because each constituted decision. But like I said, we want a situation in the country where courts don't even give conflicting decisions. This one gives this one gives that. Let us have uniformity in decision making. But they followed the last order, go ahead and hold the convention, and then they held the convention in Ibadan, and following that convention, a new leadership emerged from the political party. And that new leadership scheduled to hold their inaugural meeting at the headquarters of the PDP, and the faction loyal to Wike also scheduled to hold their own meeting at Wadata Plaza. Sometimes I ask, who is the person that holds the key of this Wadata Plaza? If the plaza is accessible, Wadata House, if the house is accessible to all the factions, it therefore means that something is wrong somewhere. I think there should be a central, someone that takes care of the house. Everybody should not have the key. Just thinking. All right. Now, what's my take about this whole thing, the multiple judgments, the event of yesterday that almost resulted into people, hell being let loose on the house? One, parties should resort to the rule of law for redress rather than self-help. What we saw yesterday was self-help. There are no better ways to qualify it. Two, the police and other security forces should not get involved in partisan politics. We saw a divided police force yesterday. Some were in favor of this, others were in favor of that. I was even asking, is it that these policemen, they don't have commanders? Because I know that if you take the Nigerian army to that place, they are certainly not going to be divided. The Nigerian army cannot be divided at that location. They will have a common commander. And all of them will listen to the commander. But what I saw yesterday was this one dragging this one dragging that, the same police force, this one protecting this one opposing this one. We need security forces in Nigeria that should not be involved in partisan politics. 3, all factions should explore ways of settling their differences amicably. They call themselves family members. So why should family members not settle their differences? If you have issues with the party, you follow the proper channel using the constitution of the party. 4, the place of opposition in a democracy cannot be replaced. It cannot. Nigeria as a country must allow multi-party politics to strive, as has always been the case. What happened at the Wadata house yesterday was a spectacle that did not speak well about the way politics is being played in Nigeria. The optics were not fine. And I hope that we correct that as a people. I hope that the leaders of political parties will think about Nigeria, will think about the larger interest of their political parties, instead of thinking about their personal egoistic interests and then destroying their political parties and also destroying the future chances for Nigeria. Many thanks always for watching.